Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next lesson in the Su-25 Cadet series. This time we're going to learn about the laser-guided rockets carried by the Su-25. This is a quick lesson because there is only 3 different laser-guided rockets for the Su-25. Looking to the left, it is the S-25L, and yes, it is the same S-25 rocket as the unguided version, just with a laser nose and laser components in it. So it is the same rocket, just in a laser version, much more precise version. Next one is the car 25 ml, KH25, but I believe it is pronounced car or something like that, 25 ml. M means modular in this case, and L means laser. Modular means that it can, there are different versions of it that it build up of components instead of just one single type of missile. And L for laser, that is the guidance system. It is a very effective rocket. It is used against runways, building, bunkers and so forth. So is the S-25. The use of the S-25L is exactly the same as the S-25 unguided version. This is just a guided version. And lastly, the mighty car 29L. It is a very big missile. It is intended for use against bridges, massive bunkers, massive aircraft shelters. The biggest target you can find, this missile can destroy. Or rocket, laser-guided rocket. Due to its size, it can only be mounted on the inboard pylons on both sides. So, as you can see, I have the same layout on the other side for equal balance. Let's get into the cockpit. And pause. The reason why you would use laser-guided rocket instead of unguided rocket is that you can fire the rocket at longer ranges and be almost assured a direct hit. And why would you do that? If you come into an area and there is SAM size, AAA or anything like that, it can be a bit daunting to get in there with unguided rockets. Therefore, unguided rockets are very useful against air defenses. Sorry, air defenses. I would not use them against Su-23s and short range because I can use my rockets, other rockets for that instead. But against enemy Gepard, Tunguska, Shilka, and stuff like that, you need to keep a bit of a range, a bit of a distance to it. The range the guided rocket can be fired at depends on your altitude and on your speed. To gain the biggest or the longest range for your guided rockets is simply to be up high, because then it can use the altitude to glide in. Some rockets can have a range of only 2 kilometers down low at 50 or 100 meters, but they can have a range of 10, 12, 15 kilometers up high at 5, 6, 8,000 meters. So it all depends on the threat and how you're going to employ the weapon. To use the weapon, you need, of course, the standard standard buttons, lasers, weapon change, weapon fire, and you also need target designate up, down, left, right, and target lock and unlock. The reason for that is that the aiming paper now becomes indicator of where the laser in your nose is pointing. If you take a look at that little mirror in the nose right there, that is where the laser is placed. That also means that the laser is not a laser pod. It does not work at the laser port on the A10C. It is not a port, it is frontal hemisphere operating laser. That means your nose must be pointing at the target for the laser to see it. It has, I believe, 15 degrees to the sides, or it is 20 degrees to the sides, and 10 or 13 degrees up, and I believe it's almost 80 degrees down. That means that you can fire a laser guided rocket, keep on flying almost over the target, and your laser will still be able to mark the target. It also means that when you are flying towards the target, laser on, weapons in the air, do not make turns or big turns to the left or to the right. Do not make sudden aggressive movement. Be smooth, be confident, be relaxed with your flight stick. The harder you pull on your flight stick, the harder maneuvers you make, the harder time the laser has to focus on the aiming paper. That is very important to understand, that even though you see AAA coming towards you, you must have a relaxed and calm flight profile until the weapons impact. We are here at our usual weapons range, so let's do a dry run. So air to ground mode, lowering my gun sight a little bit. See now my weapons panel, outermost weapons are selected. That is the Su-25L. And remember the burnout time on the laser. So let's pick some target just in the terrain over here. Reducing speed a little bit. If you need to deploy your air brakes when in the dive, that will give you more time to lead the target. I'm going to deploy my air brakes now. To spot a target out there, turn on your laser, and I often just lock my laser. Now my laser is locked. See, the paper stayed there. The laser is locked on that spot. If I want to move the aiming paper, I need to put my paper directly on the target. I can move up, I can move down, up, down, right, left. Many people, I'm going to turn off the laser now to avoid burnout. Many people have a very hard time using the laser or getting the paper, the aiming sight on the target. The way the laser is stabilized in the aircraft is a limiting factor, and it also a something that you can utilize, just as we learned during the employment of the rocket. That elliptic shape is something that you cannot avoid. You can fight it, but it won't do anything good because you'll always lose. So is the employment of the or the movement of the paper. There is a way that works every single time that gives smooth, controlled movement of the aiming paper and the laser. It is very simple, but as far as I know, the manual does not say anything about that, and many YouTubers never ever mention it. They just complain about it so notchy and it jumps instead of smooth controls. Once again, there's nothing wrong with the aiming side, there's nothing wrong with the laser. It is the employment and the use of the laser that is not correct, i.e. it is user error. Okay, we have that building out there in front, turning on the laser, giving a rough marking with the whole plane, locking the target. I see the aiming paper is locked. It is not exactly on target, so the way I'm going to move it up now is I give a slight pitch in the plane. It is so smooth now, I'm insanely precise because I'm moving the plane up. The plane is moving, it's dragging the laser up, so it is much more precise. If I move the plane up and try to move down, it won't move because they are working against each other. Therefore, if I want to move down a bit, negative pitch, point the plane a bit down, see how precise I can now be. And so, to the right and to the left. Turning off laser to prevent burnout. Therefore, if something is not working, it is highly likely because of user error, misunderstanding, or lack of knowledge. So as you saw, I have complete control, smooth, gentle control over my laser. That is one thing that many people do not understand and the manual does not mention. So that is why I love these weapons, because you need to learn, you need to use your brain. It's not just point that thing on the thing and click that and then everything is on auto. I don't like auto. Auto is, without due respect for, I won't say stupid people, but it does not require any brain activity to use auto. This simple system, the simpler the system is, the more brain it requires by the user. So let's move over and fire at some of the targets. And we're gonna confirm, yes, Su-25 down. It can be very hard to spot the vehicle or anything, but yeah, that is life. Oh, one more thing. You will never ever see me using the zoom like that, even though this is a realistic way of zooming in because I'm leaning forward, but using the zoom button or the zoom axis, you'll never ever see me use that because I think it is highly arcadish. It is unrealistic. It is not the way I want to play. If you want to play using that, all fine. It's okay. We all play the way we want. But you will never ever see me use that. If there is a mod where you can press a button and then a binocular comes up giving a instant constant zoom, I will use that in the situation where you would use that in real life. No pilot would ever use a binocular in this situation. Diving at a target completely focused so that he would have one hand on the throttle, one hand on the stick. He would not take up a binocular and fly with that, because that gives tunnel vision. He would never ever use a binocular during a dogfight. So that is why you never ever see me use that zoom button. Coming in for the target, throttle all the way back, and I spot a row of vehicles. No, that was not the vehicles. That was the 3 vehicles spotted. Target locked. Looks good. Waiting to be in range. And more on the range later. Range tape is winding down. Launch. And then keep the laser on it. Do not move violently. Do not make violent maneuvers. Boom, impact. You can make small, smooth, controlled movement while the laser is on, but make it gentle. 3 vehicles with 1 rocket. 3 vehicles with 1 pass. That is nice. Let's go for the car 29L. The innermost. And the procedures of employing laser guided weapons is exactly the same. It does not matter whether it is that rocket or that. Just like unguided rockets, you aim and employ the weapon in the same way. Therefore, if you understand a few basic principles, you can often translate that to a whole category of weapons. And I'm going for the tank, the 4 tanks. Deploying air brakes, a little more time. See the tanks. Laser on. Locked. Launch. See how far away I can launch the 29. It's just such a wonderful weapon. Impact. One tank destroyed. One way to increase the range at which you can fire the rockets is, as I said, either go much higher up, or there's a button called Launch Override. It is Launch Permission Override. When pushing that button, you ignore all ranges, all safety and permissible and designed characteristics of the or limitations of the missile. That means that you can fire the weapon outside its maximum range and it can fall short. You can use it if you are very confident that you will be able to hit the target. And you can also use it as a way to get a greater standoff of the target. Very useful against air defenses, especially the Tunguska and Chiltern Tor. So even though this is a Russian aircraft and the system I just mentioned is also Russian. But what you do when you use that is it's get a much further away target to make sure that it is not in range. Laser on, locked. As you see, I can fire my weapons now. Oop. You will not get any indicators that you are within range. You're just able to fire the weapon. It is very important to understand now that the missile is flying not dumb, but it is flying unguided until it is within reach of the laser spot. Until it can see the laser, then it will correct its flight. So do not be discouraged by seeing a missile flying not directly at the laser spot. See, impact, boom, perfect. So remember to put the launch permissible override once again. See how long the cooldown time was for the laser. So let's use the Cadet 25 ML. It is a big S-25 and a small Cadet 29. So it is in the middle of those two. Go the other way around to get a little more distance. If going on a patrol and you expect air defenses, you can have, for example, 2 S-25s. They are actually very good, and you can launch them outside the permissible design range by using the launch override. So 2 S-25Ls and 2 pods of S-8 rockets, and then fuel tanks or bombs. Then you are multi-purpose aircraft. A true close air support aircraft. See if I can spot any of the target right now. I believe I can see one. Yeah. Waiting until I'm within range. And now I can make a gentle turn. Impact. This is off. Did I miss? Yeah, I was a bit too high. Just a bit too high. Yeah, I hit between the kill tank and the now northernmost tank. But you get the point. Just remember that when you are moving your sight and the laser is on, if you want to move the sight down, push a little bit on your flight stick, a little bit negative pitch. Want to move up, a little bit of positive pitch on left and right. Then the movement of the aiming paper is super smooth and super precise. If you if you have positive pitch, i.e. moving up, flying up, and you want to move the pivot down, they will work against each other and you will not be able to move it. Then suddenly, if you level out, it will move in notches down, because suddenly it have movement and a freedom of movement to move down. So that is why people often complain about the pivot. But I guess that is it. That is the lesson for the laser guided rockets. Next time, I believe it's going to be bombs. Thank you.